no question about that. John Murray, Performance Sports. Aaron Judge and Cody Bellinger. I mean, baseball sometimes they just...
This exhibition for us was very important, very necessary, because we wanted to really amplify the conversation of the realities of scarcity and abundance as they relate to Black and brown and other and they here in America and also just globally. My name is Mike Stevenson.
And I'm Jay Billen.
Doing a show like this is very nuanced for a lot of people because in the contemporary art community, there's not a lot of focus on just black and brown artists, at least down here in the South. And exhibiting only black and brown artists is something that's also a bit abnormal. It's not necessarily intended to exclude anyone, but it's intended just to amplify those that don't have any space, just by communicating that there's enough space for them and making it very obvious and literal by providing the space. What was really important to us was that all the artists that are exhibiting are as a part of this experience. None of them are having to give up any cash for what they sell here. For us, it's about creating the space and community, understanding that community helps to mobilize and push ideas, culture, and information forward. And so we feel that we have a key responsibility in the art community to do that. Art informs people, art educates people, and art is what we reflect on in all forms, media forms, to kind of tell us what happened in history. And right now what we're communicating about in history is maybe one of the most important time periods ever in human history because we're at a critical moment in which there's a clear us and them. And it's experiences like this that bring together everyone, that help to kind of reshape a new paradigm for how we can approach the world in our reality, how we can help heal the world, how we can use education information to fix our wrongdoings, because we made a lot of them, both to one another and to the planet. And so this exhibition talks about all of that, which is a really beautiful conversation to be having right now.
We're collaborators and we're working as they, that, and we're here at There's Enough for Everyone, which is our inaugural exhibition, first time showing for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a conversation on scarcity and abundance within black and brown communities and how that relates to our identities or our sexuality, or our physical boundaries, like what we have access to, things like that. So yeah, there's over 20 artists included.
Yeah.
The work that Mike and I are exploring with They That deals with, one, the question of value, which we often tie value to objects or to bodies or to people. And so we want to question value by taking garbage from the streets and turning this into our primary medium. When natural disasters hit a city or an area, the people most greatly affected and displaced are usually people of color who already didn't have it very well prior to those catastrophes. And so, you'll go into neighborhoods like Fifth Ward or St. Roch in New Orleans, and you just see poverty. It's very apparent. You'll see trash littering the floors, the streets, and no one's doing anything about it, and it's not really the fault of the people. It's not really the fault of the city. It's a combination of things. And so we are exploring how do we recontextualize that value and turn it into something beneficial for people. And so this is the exploration. We started a while ago doing a backpack and tent with this company called Tentative, which we designed. And this was intended to house the homeless community in some kind of transient way. That was a business. We tried starting a business, didn't work out. And so here we are again exploring the same aspect, the same element, housing for homeless people, for underserved communities, built completely out of garbage and given away as a practice. And so that's what we're going to continue to explore moving forward alongside this interest in black and brown or marginalized people being served in the communities, providing programs or resources for those communities.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big focus of the work that we do together.
This is actually my first art gallery that I have the guts to go through, because I do suffer from a lot of anxiety, but throughout all the things in my life, I really feel like right now I want to be just myself. So this is something that I wanted to come to, and I don't regret it at all. This gallery means a lot to me because it's about black and brown representation. And that's something that I really stand for. Black and brown unity is one of the issues that I most fight for. And any chance that I get to support people of color in creative ways, then I do, because often our people are told that this is not for us. But it's not about this is not for us, it's about whatever you want to be for you is for you. And this is what this gallery means to me. Me finally being able to be myself and meeting great people here, overcoming at least a little bit my anxiety to be able to talk to artists and get their advice, get their knowledge.
My name is TJ Mohammed. I was born in Kintampo in Ghana, and yeah, I did all my art education in Ghana, Accra. So the piece I have in the show, it's entitled Ubuntu, I Am Because We Are. And starting with the title, Ubuntu in Spanish would be translated as Mi Casa Su Casa. So it is an Ngunu language, which is from like the Zulu, South Africa, East Africa. It means it's an humanity statement, meaning you being there for other people. In another sense, it's also a proverb that could be translated as it takes the whole village to raise a child. So I choose that as the theme for this piece, and the piece is part of a project. The project I started in 2013. But prior to that, in 2003, when I finished my art education, I wanted to say a big thank you to my mom, and I was looking for ways to do it. So since 2003 till 2013, I started giving her gift on her birthday as a painting. Sometimes it would sell, sometimes she would not want to sell it, so I would keep it for her. Sometimes she has it at her home. But after 10 years of this gesture of doing to her, I thought I should move the conversation to another level, because thinking about the role she played in my life, I'm thinking of other women also. So I started thinking about other women and how I could applaud and amplify the good work of women. So the project is about mapping and celebrating the very vital role women play in our societies. Most importantly, immigrants. So the fabric scraps are collected from across the globe. I started with Nima, where I grew up in Accra, and then I collect from New York, I collect from Europe, I collect from Trinidad and Tobago, I collect from Nigeria, and most parts of Africa. And then what I do with these fabrics is it's two processes. One, I work with the community to cut to make it in a square form or a rectangle. So we mimic the traditional bricks arrangement. But in this piece you see in the show, I'm like pasting the fabric with glue directly from the seamstress. So these seamstress, I collect stories, I collect scraps of fabrics, and then I also collect like history of the designs that they sew for these people with their style. And then, yeah, so that is like the process. The images you see of the women are also another layer of the project where I collect a number of women. So I take 4 women put together to make one piece. So I take, for instance, the eyes, nose, and mouth of another person and then put it together in another face. So it becomes like 4 elements.
My name is Rossif. I'm a visual artist. And tonight I'm a model too. I did this collaborative piece with Ryan Francisco, a great photographer. It's called Shrine, and it's not just about me, it's about Black pride, textures, hair, connecting with nature, and just being in your element. I did a little bit of graphic design on it as well, and it turned out great. This whole show is great. I'm just glad to be a part of it. My name is Rossif, and thank you.
My name is Nina Kutomsin. I'm from Ghana. I was born in Accra and raised in Osu. I started my art education at Ganata College of Arts, one of the best private art schools. And I graduated with a diploma, and I've been painting ever since. And me coming from a different country where our structures are completely different from what we have in the subway, like I'm always caught up in between, and it's so fast in New York, and I always ask like who really listen to them, but I still carry my where I'm from energy into New York, the slow pace, so I get caught up with listening to them while I still do my pedestrian walk in the subways while everybody walks so fast and busy. I pay attention, and I was inspired to do a series called Subway Series, and I've done a couple of them. I'm still going to do more. It's more like a reddish, and that is not me, so I wanted to know where that is coming from, so it was later I realized there's something that was striking, that was inspiring me to paint in like reddish, so I went back to that house and I realized the curtains were all reddish. The show at the moment is very interesting, especially what the space is all about at this moment in time with politically and what is going on. I find it very interesting, like we are in a space where it's owned by a white person, but the mission of the space is based on brown and black artists.